show. Joe Part is founder of Alltrust Insurance and the current managing partner. After working for both financial service firms and for a large regional insurance broker, Alltrust Insurance was founded in Tarpon Springs in 1994 by Joe. Alltrust has always had a singular focus on employee benefits and now serves over 400 employer groups, both large and small. Joe, welcome to the show today.
Jamie, it's a pleasure being here. Candidly, had I known I was going to be locked in a small studio.
You didn't even know what you're doing here this morning.
I know.
Your friend Sharon,
had I known I would have been locked in this small room with a math teacher, I would not have showed up. To me, it's like being in a room with snakes. I don't like math. And she has footballs with math equations on them.
How can you not like math? I mean, you're in insurance, you're in numbers.
No, this is very disturbing to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of the same field, though, isn't it? I mean, insurance and math.
It's not the same. No, it's not.
So you're the guy like that.
Insurance rates.
Well, I don't do that. I'm the legs and the lips of the organization, as you could tell.
You're the face of the operation, right?
Yes, and on radio, I am.
You got a face for radio over here, right? Yeah,
I'd like your viewers to know I'm a very handsome man.
Yeah, he got all decked up here with some makeup and everything. Yeah, but
yes.
Hey, people can actually see you though. Hey, if you're listening to this on the radio, tune us in over on TampaBayRadio.com through the live stream. They can really see what this guy looks like in here. So
yeah, I wish you wouldn't.
He shows up this morning. He's like, "What am I doing here this morning?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a show where I'm talking about your business." He's like, "Okay." Sharon, your assistant there, or one of your clients there, chose you to show up on the show and everything, talk a little bit about your business.
I'm glad to be here.
So tell me about your business.
All joking aside, I'm glad.
Yeah, tell me about Alltrust Insurance. What is this place about?
We are an employee benefit specialty firm, meaning that we work with employers large and down to 50 employees, and we help them select their corporate benefits. So we deal with companies that are New York Stock Exchange companies with national footprints, regional companies that are very well known, and hundreds of local companies. And the long and the short of it is we help the employer or the C-level folks pick the right health care, dental, short and long-term disability plans for their employees. And, in today's world of the Affordable Care Act, and I almost have a hard time saying Affordable Care Act, because it's not affordable anymore. We have a tough job. We have to control the employer's line item budget. We have to protect the employee's
And you mentioned that you
paycheck.
work with employers so they have to have at least 50 employees.
Yeah,
and that's the cutoff, right?
That's the cutoff for us. Now, there are a lot of great firms out there that work with small groups. We don't. But anything over 50 employees, we do work with. But it's a great job because we deal with really smart people.
And what was your background before you got into the insurance or employee benefits field? I mean, what were you doing, and how did you get into this business? To launch this business.
It was show business.
Show business,
I was in show business,
You're in Hollywood over there.
No, Broadway.
Broadway.
Yes.
You're a singer and a performer.
Yeah, I dance.
I can tell you got the physique for it.
Yes. In fact, why don't I dance now?
Oh, right ahead. Hey, we got a stream up here. We can get that on the stream.
I have always been in this type of business, but I started the Alltrust years ago, and candidly, as Sharon knows, and my wonderful colleagues, I don't do much anymore, but I can function as a mentor. I have wonderful colleagues, great leadership team, great staff. We have 4 offices in the state of Florida, and it's a lot of fun for me at this point in my career.
Well, I can tell you got a fun-loving and energetic type of personality. How did you get into the field of employee benefits? I mean, I think it'd be in something a little more entertaining, and stuff.
Well, much like Carrie's husband, who's an ophthalmologist, I come from a family of physicians. And when I was up at Florida State taking organic chemistry, which is kind of a hurdle.
I hated that class.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I really had to be honest with myself. And I said, can I honestly pass this course without cheating? And the answer was no. And I figured maybe medicine wasn't for me.
Right.
So I became an English major.
Hey, we were just joking about it. Can you tell me what the Oedipus complex is?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
I became an English major, and English majors are unemployable.
By the way, that's the first time I've ever actually been able to use that in actual conversation since getting out of high school. So I'm so proud of myself to be able to work at Oedipus complex into one of my lines. All right, go ahead.
Now, Jamie, I know you're the host, but this is my time. So would you shut up? I mean, this is great. We're all fascinated by you, but I'm more fascinating. So When I graduated from Florida State, I was an English major, and the last refuge of the unemployable is insurance. So I migrated into insurance. Didn't like individual insurance, but I did want to get close to medicine. And the closest I could get to medicine was being a consultant on healthcare, and it has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in spite of what is happening now in the country with healthcare and the continuing inflation, it is really rewarding helping employers do the right thing for their employees.
Now, tell me about the culture. I know you talk about the three C's of your company, Alltrust Insurance. Tell me about the culture and these three C's that you like to talk about.
Well, I mean, again, I am not active in the day-to-day responsibility to clients anymore, but when I'm speaking, whether it's on shows like this with an international footprint or whether I'm, speaking locally to other CEOs, I often talk about my responsibility to, number one, my colleagues. When I was a younger man, when I was your age, I used to think it was all about revenue and creating a bigger company, and that is not the case. I am all about my colleagues first and foremost. Then come the clients. And the third responsibility we have, we're a locally owned and private company, we have a big responsibility to the community. We are extremely involved philanthropically, and what a pleasure it is to be involved with people like the Crisis Centers, Southeastern Guide Dogs, Metropolitan Ministries. And as a small firm, actually, we're not a small firm, we're the largest employee benefit specialty firm in Florida, but as a private firm, we could give a tremendous amount to charity, and man, is it fun doing that.
Yeah, what are some of the organizations that you're involved in? You mentioned a couple there, but tell me a little bit more about your community involvement.
Well,
That's important. I like to hear about that.
We're involved in so much. I mean, we're involved, and it's relatively new involvement with Metropolitan Ministries, and what an organization. For years, we've been involved with the Crisis Center, and the Crisis Center is, well, a lot of people don't know about the Crisis Center, but the Crisis Center is the intake for sexual violence in Tampa Bay, and what an organization they are. Southeastern Guide Dogs, another one we're very involved with. Anyone who has not been down to Palmetto and seen their facility and what they are doing for blind folks, it is stunning. And if you happen to be a dog lover, it's beyond stunning, it's intoxicating. Because they breed the dogs there, they do genetic research there, they train them there. They have a campus where folks come to and get hooked up with the dogs and then go home with the dogs. The folks at J.C. Newman Cigar Company, they're doing a big event where we're involved with it in November, where it's called Pause for Patriots. And they started a program where they're now training dogs for vets that have been hurt in the Mideast. Cool stuff. So I love getting involved with philanthropy.
Very nice. And your company is still on the expansion. I mean, I see you about to open an office in Orlando, or is it already open?
Orlando's already open.
Already open?
It was opened by an attorney, a great young man that we're very proud that he joined us, Jeremy Hertz, who was an attorney at Ford and Harrison. Then he was one of our clients at a very large employer, and he is leading up the Orlando office, but more importantly, he's leading up all of our regulatory and compliance initiatives for our clients. Great
and
guy.
Where are your other offices located locally here?
Well, we have Tallahassee. We have a very large office in Sarasota, a Lakeland office, and, of course, Tampa Bay.
And who are your ideal clients? I mean, you mentioned you go down to like 50 employees, but is there a certain field that you like to work within, or is it pretty much as anybody with a business?
No, Jamie, it's not. We're much different than many of our competitors. Again, our employer size is 50. Our largest employer is 15,000, but the majority of Florida employers in our area are really 50 to 500, 50 to 1,000 employees. And the requirement is not any employer. The requirement is that we be culturally aligned. We are not interested in every type of client. We want clients who care deeply, as we do, about employees. And if they're not aligned culturally with doing the right thing for their team members, we are not the right broker for them.
And do you offer the wide variety of different services, HR to insurance,
Yes.
to everything?
Yeah, we do everything that touches their human capital. I hate using that cliche, but we're paid through the placement of the insurance. But our responsibility really transcends that. Our responsibility is to help them make a thoughtful selection on what to install. We manage it. We're their advocates on a day-to-day basis. We handle HR, legal, and compliance. And for years now, we have been helping integrate technology to make sure they're productive and profitable with their HRIS systems. So we do everything.
Very cool. And you can learn more about Joe over at his website, alltrustinsurance.com. Again, we're currently talking with Joe Part, founder and managing partner of Alltrust Insurance.
And I've got to tell you, it's really unfortunate that your radio listeners cannot see me. Because
They can. No, they can.
Well, I know, but they're in their car. They can't see you because a lot of people.
I'm gonna put you up on my
Jamie,
homepage. I'm gonna put a big picture
A
of you on
lot
my
of
website.
people deal with us, as you could tell, and I could tell by Kerry staring at me. A lot of people deal with us because they find us physically attractive.
Go ahead. No,
And
go ahead.
we've been
of
we've been
benefits.
blessed because we're a good-looking group of people.
Well, there you go. Not only are they informed people, they're also very good looking. So.
Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business again each and every weekday morning here on 1250 WHNZ at 8 a.m. A show about business owners, entrepreneurs, people making a difference in and around the Tampa Bay and regional communities. Current guest, Joe Part, founder and managing partner of Alltrust Insurance. Learn more about them over at alltrustinsurance.com. And got a guest in studio here, Sharon Fecady, the Doctor Whisperer. She's been on a prior show of That Business Show with Working Women of Tampa Bay. Working Women Wednesday. She was in with Jessica Ravelli one morning. And Joe is a client of yours. And tell me a little bit about why you brought Joe on as a client.
Well, I was a medical administrator for 8 years prior to opening up my business. And even before that, I had the great pleasure of meeting Joe Part and his fabulous company, Alltrust. One of the most difficult things about being an administrator is that you really are responsible for everything in the medical practice, overseeing the operation. And the bigger it is, the more difficult it becomes to just manage the day-to-day and then do the marketing and everything else. What I loved about Alltrust, and I've always recommended Alltrust, they're an amazing company, but they made my job so much easier. They were just a huge resource. There's something to be said about customer service. I think that it gets thrown around so much, but when you really find a company that is at your beck and call, I could call Kristen Andonian at any given moment, and she would help me out immediately. She just made everything easier. Everybody at that firm made it easier. So it's been a very easy recommendation for me to recommend Alltrust and Joe and his great team, because they really do have a phenomenal record in Florida, and so great that they're growing. And I introduce them to as many people as possible because I know how difficult it can be to manage a practice. So if you have a resource that can not only help you with your benefits, but can also put you in contact with attorneys, with HR reps. They do amazing speaking events and really help with wellness. And like Joe mentioned, just the whole philanthropic aspect of Alltrust has always been so, it's just been really nice to be a part of. And I really have always been very proud of Alltrust. So, Joe, I will expect that money as soon as we walk out together today.
She's right. We are awesome because I'm awesome. But what I'd like to do now, we don't have much time left.
Yeah, you got about 4 minutes. Yeah.
I wanted to sing Moon River, an old favorite of mine. Do you have any backup music here?
No.
I'll tell you what
we
else.
can play my intro music again.
I'll tell you what else you don't have here. You don't have any food. I was told there was going to be food this morning.
Man,
you have nothing for me.
I save that for the dinner time, man. I don't like to eat during the morning. Yeah, so. I got your water though, right? Or
You
coffee?
did. But Jamie, thank you. We appreciate being on. Again, joking aside, I genuinely believe we have the finest employee benefit consulting firm in Florida. My people are everyone we've brought on for the past couple decades has come from Aetna, Cigna United, Blue Cross Blue Shield, an HR department, a client of ours, and they are they're really beyond passionate. That word's used too much. They are so knowledgeable, they become fanatical about outcomes. You know, the hardest thing we have to do in the marketplace is every law firm says the same thing, every accounting firm says the same thing, many hospitals say the same thing, many physicians say the same thing. But the fact of the matter is there are dramatically different outcomes, and those outcomes are a reflection of who is managing the procedure. And my team is as good as it gets.
Speaking of food, I thought about coming on the way in. Today is National Donut Day. You know, it would have been perfect to bring in some donuts. I saw that on some of the posts. So you want some donuts, or I can maybe go get you
Well,
some
let
donuts?
me ask you this. Let me ask you and the producer this. And Carrie, you're still live here. Do you guys think I'm fat? No, do you? My wife thinks I'm fat. Do you
think I'm fat? No, well, I'll spin it back on you.
Yeah, you are fat.
Yeah, I am. No, I know. Hey, I talk about that all the time on my show.
Well, the most important is having a healthy lifestyle.
Oh, I have a healthy lifestyle. No, yeah, I think you could see that.
Carrie, can you work some programs for us? Older
yeah,
males
we need
here.
to
and
start
so-
tossing the ball around and getting some
We can go out.
exercise.
We got
this
time to
morning.
play with the
Exactly.
multiplication table football. After
No,
this one?
I'll toss the ball around with you, but I am not interested in math. Sorry. You're gonna have to do
Well,
that
we'll
with
have
the
to-
children.
We can go down to addition for you instead of multiplication.
No, that's I couldn't get through that.
Make him
either.
an English football and put on
Yes,
some of
that
I
the
can do.
different Hamlet stories or Shakespeare stories, I should
So
say.
I'm not sure if I would know that.
Now you
or
don't even
remember it from college.
you didn't even put in a plug for your husband's practice. Don't you need to do that? Is he listening?
He probably is.
He
Yeah,
may
good.
be
Her husband,
listening,
Adam
actually.
Shiner, was on his show a few
Yes,
weeks ago.
that's
Why
true.
don't you talk about him for a second?
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to do that. Yes, Dr. Shiner does eye and facial plastic surgery, and he was on the show a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Just
Yeah,
how,
we're talking all about festoons. An
Correct.
interesting topic. I had never even heard of what that thing was. I had to, spend an hour the night before just researching, that topic, just so I had some intelligent questions to ask. Yeah, your husband, world renowned for that surgery, correct?
What could he do for me?
Yes. Well, he focuses mostly on eyelid and festoon treatments, so I'm sure.
You got to tell
Take
people
your
what
glasses
festoons
off.
are.
Let me see if I can do a little mini consult while we're here.
Do you find me attractive?
I'm married, so.
And her
you know,
husband
I'm
is
not gonna go
listening,
there,
by the
but,
way, on the other
I'm
end of this.
sure
He's probably like, all right, where's that
listening
phone? What's that phone number?
in. Well, most people think.
But just because
look
you're
at-
married, I mean, do you or don't you find me attractive?
I'm not going to comment. Of course I do, but I try to stay,
As we get older, we need
Yes,
those,
yes,
reassurance, as we age.
I think in a very, you
Distinguished?
Yes, distinguished. That was actually the word that I was
Yes.
looking for.
Jamie, do you find me
Very
attractive?
Oh, very much so.
distinguished
Very much so. I
manner.
told you I'm putting a picture of you up on my website, main
Right, all
page.
the time,
I'm
right
replacing
there.
my
You're
image
finding
with your image.
attractive.
Thank you. Your poor producer is shaking his head. He wants me out of here.
Yeah, we're giving him a workout here with the camera, switching back and forth for the people that
Definitely.
are watching us at home. And
But I've got to
everything.
tell you, thank you for inviting us. All joking aside,
Yes, thank you.
One of the great things about having fun at Alltrust is it's kind of like an athletic team that you see them on the field and they're having such a good time. They're having a good time because they do such a great job.
Yep.
And they win for clients. And that's how we are at work.
Well, hey, this has been a great segment, a lot of fun, and thanks, Joe Part, for making this morning that much more enjoyable. And everybody, again, Joe Part, founder and managing partner at Alltrust. Joe, thank you very much.
Jamie, thank you.
Absolutely. And you can learn more about them over at the website, alltrustinsurance.com. Also, thank you to Carrie Shiner of Explorisize. Carrie, I hope we didn't make you too uncomfortable in here on this last segment.
It's all fun.
All right, good enough. And hopefully your husband's not mad at me now for bringing in this guy and hitting on you here on my show and everything. So learn more about her program over at explorisize.com. Well, it's Friday. I hope everybody has a great Friday leading into the weekend. And keep in mind, you can find this show on here weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 WHNZ, a show all about business owners, entrepreneurs, and people making a difference in and around the Tampa Bay and regional communities. Learn more about the show over at tampabayradio.com. Have a great weekend, everybody. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.